If you can't have fun with the person that you're with, then what's the point? I mean, seriously. If you can't have fun with the person you're with, then what's the point? Yeah, life can be fun by yourself, but just imagine if you could spend it for the rest of your life with somebody that you love. The thing I love the most about me and Brittany's relationship is how much fun we have. Like, we have fun doing the simplest things, whether it's running around the house with Layla, playing Nerf, or taking a ride to the store, going to Kings Dominion, anything. Sometimes just laying around talking. I can't think of a day that's gone by since the day we met. It hasn't either began or ended in laughter. And because of that, I'm grateful. Because I've been in a situation where things weren't like that. So I cherish the time that I spent with her. And although we both have busy careers, we take a lot of our time. We always make sure that we find time for each other. And that's what's important. Glove compartment is locked, so it's the trunk in the back, and I know my rights, so you don't need a warrant for that. Oh, aren't you sharp as a tack?
You some type of lawyer or something? Somebody important or something?
Hold on, what?
That's the only thing they keep. They take your skin, they pull it down, cut off the excess fat, sit it over on the side.
I don't want to hear shit.
Then they take...
Hey. Brittany and I went on our first date September 22nd, 2017. Today makes it 2 years. Feels like 5. Each day we learn, we grow, and do our best to become better versions of ourselves for each other. Because of that, I love her. Because I know she loves me just as much. Happy anniversary, baby.
George and I met at work. He was responding to a call at my job.
It was a call for stalking or something like that. Something crazy. Something that we didn't really expect to get from that location, being as though not too much goes on in that building.
So when he arrived to my job, he was talking to my boss, and we didn't communicate the first go around. He was communicating with my boss, but I seen him, he seen me.
So we got there, and the manager at the time, he opened the door, let us in, and I remember seeing Brittany sitting at her desk, and I was just like, oh my God, who is that? So I look at my partner, like I look at him, he look at me, because we had been working in this area for, I don't know, by now I think I had been in the area for about 3 years, working on this particular beat. I had never seen her. So I look at my partner, and he look at me, and I'm like, I don't know. So I had to play it cool. So walked in, professionals. We here to handle business. We're not here to flirt. So I walked in, introduced myself. My partner introduced himself. We asked if they had called 911. And they were like, yeah, we have one of our residents. He's claiming that he's being stalked by another woman in here. So I spoke to him. We got everything sorted out, and I was leaving. As I was leaving, I was speaking with the manager, let him know that if they have any other issues, they need to give us a call. We'll come back. So my partner's looking at me like, dude, you need to come back and do a follow-up. So I'm already up. So I told the manager, I said, listen, have you guys been having this issue for a while now? He tells me, well, not necessarily, but we have some other issues. So I told him I would come back the next day and conduct the follow-up, and I gave my business card. The whole time, not really paying Brittany no attention. Like, I'm not looking her way at all. But I see her.
After dealing with that, he said he was going to do a follow-up. So he returned back the next day, or like 2 days later. I forget how many days it was, but when he returned, I made sure to greet him at the door. And the first thing I noticed when he came was that he just smelled so good. He smelled so good.
So we leave. Next day, we come back. She answers the door. And we walk in. I asked them, were they having any issues with the two residents? They told me no. So at that time, I started talking to Brittany.
He was just like, hey, just checking on the situation from the other day, seeing how everything was going. So we talked, we laughed, because the calling itself was a little silly, but we talked about it. I told him everything was okay, and we laughed and talked for a little bit.
I don't even remember what we were talking about, what the conversation was about, but I just remember leaving and telling myself, yeah, I'm gonna have to eventually ask her out. So I was talking to my partner about it, and he was all in. He was like, yeah, you need to. I had been single for a while at that time. I just started dating again. I wasn't really too sure if I wanted to ask her out, but a lot of my friends were telling me, he was like, I think it's time. I think it's time that you get back on the dating scene, go out, have some fun. So I told myself, next time I see her, I'm gonna ask her out. So it just so happened a couple days later, I'm on Instagram, and you know how Instagram suggests people you may know, and I see her name pop up, and I'm like, is this her? So I go to her page, and her page was open, it wasn't private, and I'm like, yo, we know some of the same people. Like, some of my close friends were actually friends with her. So I ended up sending her a message, and I was like,
hey, I think I know you. You look familiar. Or no, you have friends of mine, is what he said. You and I share mutual friends. So I asked him who those friends was. He told me who they were. A couple of my friends from college. So we just, doing small talk, trying to engage in conversation, see what type of people we were.
So after that, we just became cool. I would come in there from time to time, and we would talk. We have lunch together, and then eventually, I would say maybe a month or two after I first met her, I finally asked her out. So she don't want to admit it, but the first time I asked her out, she was faking. Like, she was acting like she didn't want to go. I told my partner, I was like, I'm gonna ask her one more time. The first time I wasn't as direct. I'll blame that on myself. I wasn't as direct. I kind of just threw it out there, and she just kind of danced around it. But the second time I asked her, I was a little bit more direct. I invited her to the movies.
He invited me out to go to the movies. So eventually I gave in, and we went out. I ended up playing hooky, and we went to go see It. That was the first movie we went to go see, was It up at the iPit.
We had a really good time. Like, we laughed and we joked during the movie. We laughed and we joked after the movie. I took her home.
On the way back, we talked, and we sat in the car in front of my house, and we talked for hours, and it was amazing.
And then I remember saying to myself, yeah, I think I really like this girl. Like, she very down to earth, easy to talk to. She didn't come off as being stuck on herself or anything like that. Just the type of woman that I was looking for in my girlfriend.
And then ever since then, we've been inseparable.
From that point on, it was history. I asked her on the second date. I think a week or two later, she was like, yeah, she agreed to go. I took her to go see Dave Chappelle when he was in town. This was when he shot his Netflix special here in DC. And I took her to see that. And after that, the rest was just history. Here we are.
That's beautiful.
It's good.
Yeah, I was over there with like some tears on my eyes.
Little tears,